I found this guy and another deputy out and about. I think he may have ran away from me, but his fellow deputies said he had a call, so I'm going to do an open records request for any and all calls he may have responded to in the time frame of when the call allegedly came in. Then we'll know. If he didn't have a call, then Harmon ran like a coward, and Deputy Daniels lied. We'll deal with that later if that's the case. If he did have a call, then he had a call. Most important to me, though he identified, he later told me that because I didn't identify, that I didn't need to know his name. So I'll be doing an open records request for Henderson County Sheriff's Department policy on identifying. Then Harmon and I can address his forgetfulness that he wears the uniform of an alleged public servant, he wears the badge of an alleged public servant, he is required to ID to the public, he is the one allegedly accountable to those he claims to serve and protect. I am a private citizen. I don't wear his uniform of hypocrisy he proudly displays. I guess the Sheriff's Department needs some more attention. I'm looking for you, deputies, all of you, to ask my questions and request ID to the full extent of your policy. I should probably do an open records request for his personnel records as well, but we'll see. You know, it's not specifically only that he said I didn't need to know his name. It's his mentality that he shows, that I constantly try to show and point out, that in this type of deputy's mind, he is no kind of public servant, just a potential tyrant waiting to happen, if he hasn't happened already somewhere else. This is apparently his idea of professionalism. I wasn't disrespectful. I simply exercised my right to not identify as a private citizen, and he didn't like it. I believe that's called contempt of cop. Based on his attitude, I'd be willing to wager that he'd probably love to throw someone in jail for that. If he acts like that, with the camera on him, knowing that the camera's on him, I wonder how he would have reacted if he didn't think my camera was on him. I wonder how he's reacted with other people when they exercise their rights and they didn't have a camera on him, or at least not one that he was aware of. I guess my open records request responses will shed some light on what happened. Anyway, on to the video, and yes, I'll be stopping to make some points along the way. I feel it absolutely necessary.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, can I get your names and badge numbers?
Daniels, 135.
Harmon,
Is that
138.
No. Hey, can I ask you guys a question? I'll let you put your stuff down first, and I'd like to interact with you and ask you a question.
Just trying to keep his car ready to go. Who are you?
I'm U.S. citizen.
So your name?
You don't need to know that. I'm U.S. citizen.
Don't you ever talk that way to me. Never! Never! What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Wrong answer. I don't give a shit if you like how I answered his question or not. I don't care if you think it was rude or not. He is the public servant. I am not. If you don't already comprehend the reasons to not answer most questions of a police officer, and that answers can and will be used against you, and that answers are often twisted or wrongly applied, then you should go research such for yourself, because I can't help you more than your own research would.
I'm just asking a question.
I appreciate that. You can call me U.S. citizen. Hey, can I ask you a question?
What's that?
If you were ordered to go door to door or person to person and confiscate firearms from law-abiding or otherwise law-abiding citizens, would you comply with that order, even if it meant you'd keep your job versus losing it?
No, I probably wouldn't stay here.
Probably wouldn't stay here?
No.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, I appreciate that. Your name and badge number again?
Daniels, 135.
135? All right. See if we can get this gentleman.
I think he's getting a call.
Yeah, I think he's running from me. Are you running from me? Excuse me.
Here's another comical point. Are you aware of all the times an officer has placed himself or herself in the path of or even near a vehicle they were attempting to make contact with, then claimed officer safety when the vehicle even slightly seemed to accelerate away, or by, or near the officer, and that officer and other officers utilized deadly force, emptying their magazines from their duty weapons into the vehicle, often seriously injuring and or killing the driver? Some of those vehicles were even moving much slower and further away from the officer than this guy's truck was from me. I'd be willing to bet if I had pulled away in the exact same manner as this deputy, he'd have screamed, officer safety, while he debated killing me, or just did. He'd be screaming and writing in his report that, quote, the suspect then began reversing his vehicle in a dangerous and accelerated manner, placing myself in fear of serious bodily injury and or death for both myself and fellow officers, end quote. I mean, for fuck's sakes, some of these fucking cowards that wear badges and shouldn't be are out shooting puppies and claiming they were in fear. This seems like the kind of deputy who'd crush a kitten's skull with his boot and claim he was afraid it was going to scratch him, he'd get an infection and die. Moving on.
And what was his name again?
Deputy Harmon.
What was the badge number?
138.
138? What's that, 334 on his truck?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I believe so. So, do you guys have a policy on interacting with citizens?
That's a good question. Not like HPDs, no.
Not like HPDs? Yeah. Okay. You don't think you have a policy like HPDs? Are you recording?
No, sir.
Okay, I don't care if you
No,
do.
I'm not.
You have a right to. I don't care. I just want to
I'm
know
not.
so I can open request it. I'm not going to add things or take away from this to make it a special thing. I'm not trying to trap you. You're not sure about your policy on
No,
that?
we don't have a, not like HPDs. No.
Do you have a policy about dealing with the...
Oh, we have to be professional.
Do you consider it professional to run away from somebody when they're trying to interact with you? Would you run away?
No, I know who you are, though.
You know who I am? Okay. Does him not knowing who I am make it professional for him to get in his truck and drive away like that and run away?
I think he was getting a call.
Can you confirm that?
Yeah, he was getting something on 41 South. Too far, I'm away. Hey, I gotta go. Sorry, man.
Are you getting the same call?
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Like I said, maybe he was getting a call, maybe he wasn't. I asked certain questions just in case he wasn't getting a call, and he was in fact running away. And also, like I said, I plan to do open records requests, and I plan to find out for myself if he actually did get a call. Maybe it's just how my brain works, but I got the funny feeling that this guy's call that he just got was from the other guy that just left, and the message was discontinue contact. But there again, that's my funny way of thinking. We'll find out.
Is this a real call?
Oh, and just one more question. Did you guys go on that shopping spree with your money, or did the citizens of Henderson, Kentucky foot the bill? I'm just curious. Have a good evening. I thank Deputy Daniels for being courteous and professional. Whether you believe him or not, that's up to you. As I said, I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I think he was courteous and professional, so I'll thank him for such.